Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's farming adventure extravaganza, where we try to form a wonderful farming cult on the edge of the rural lifestyle. And last episode, we killed some slimes, and Mayor Lewis is so very excited. He looks like he's actually had a stroke and his face is paralyzed. And he's going to give us some money for, you know, doing that. Seems like slime is kind of, in this game, is kind of like something you could just go to, like, the Joja hardware store and buy some slime off, which is just, like, the same thing they put in the raid spray to kill ants, just, you know, a shit ton of it to murder the hell out of them. And, well, after this, well, it is the right time of day, so we're gonna head on over with our magical fun time murder rocks, and we're gonna see what sort of delicious bacon that we can find inside of our geodes. Now, I'm not entirely certain if you can guess right now, but this isn't the same voice that you're going to experience in the previous video or the next one that I filmed together. Sometimes, and I actually found out what's causing it, once in a while, my microphone, like, resets because of Google Chrome, actually. If I have too many, like, video things open, even if they're, like, unloaded in the background using one of my plugins, it makes my Mac freak out from this latest El Capitan installation. So I lost the audio for just this episode, and it was only, like, halfway through, and it was garbled for the rest of it, like, all staticky and weird. So it tried to do it. So yeah, we're re-narrating this, and we're here inside the library to give this wonderful, strange man who likes to cosplay as a Confederate soldier all of this wonderful junk, like this mud rock, and some kryptonite so he can kill Superman, and also sandstone, because I secretly suspect that he has an Egyptian mummy fetish. And he actually gave us a pretty cool reward here. He gave me some, how did I get, oh, you gotta collect it from him. The only guy so far that actually gives you stuff instead of, like, sending it through to your quest log. He gave us some cauliflower seeds, which should really help us along in getting some cash here on our farm. Especially because I wasted some money on a very particular item, which Comical Skate has already pointed out to me. And I've never actually tried to grow cauliflower from seed. I have gone out to the hardware store and for, like, you know, $1 bought, like, a set of 6 or to 8 cauliflower plants, depending on what store I go to. And they grow pretty well here in Colorado. You just gotta make sure to dust them with that powder that kills the cabbage moths so that they don't lay the, like, those different, like, they're little worms that turn into moths. And you can also get the tomato caterpillars on the plant. They'll try to eat some of the leaves and get sick, but they will do quite a bit of damage before they die. And so as long as you keep those off of it, the cauliflower plants do pretty well. But, I've never done it from seed because Colorado is really cold, so if you want those things to grow in time to be useful, you have to, like, pre-order the seeds in, like, the previous year, and then you have to set up, like, a little warming station in your house to grow them, and hope that you did it early enough so that they get big enough so that they're worth planting when, you know, it finally stops freezing here. It will still freeze into, like, June, I should mention, but you just cover your plants with a tarp and you'll be alright. But yeah, never really had much luck with just the seeds, but I've done it from plants that I bought. Same with tomatoes. Tomatoes just don't grow well from seed in my area of Colorado. Something to do with both, like, the sunlight we get here and also the what's the word? Not climate, but altitude. Just really messes with them. So right now I'm trying to get me some delicious carp. Not the Magikarp from Pokemon, but I wouldn't mind bashing one of those with a rock. They are the most derpy Pokemon in existence. No, we're trying to find the carp for that weird little girl who wants to prank her father before the quest runs out. And I guess today is the limit of when we can get that, so we're gonna try and do that. Now, you'd think that in this game, with as much information as they like to give you about how everything works, you'd think there'd be like a show or something. Maybe I missed a show on TV. I did start watching TV in the game. So it's been actually kind of helpful. I learned a couple recipes that way. But I didn't see any information about where, like, carp are located. You'd think, like, the old man, Crazy Willie, at the dock would have given me, like, a little handout. Like, when you go into, like, the counselor at school, they're like, are you feeling depressed? Here's a handout. And, funny enough, I had this really annoying teacher. Not a teacher, it was like a counselor in my high school. And if you had a problem, and she was one of those people who liked to pretend she was proactive. And she'd go around giving you pamphlets for things. Like, she'd just have them on her person, God knows why. That's like a very serial killer-y thing to do, have, like, informational pamphlets that have never helped any teenager ever, just on hand. Like, that's just weird and psychopathic. And so, like, she was giving my friends pamphlets of, like, depression and social anxiety. And, like, I don't remember if she tried to give me one, but you see, the third time was the charm, because I was ready for her. She was really fat, and she was an asshole, so I had a pamphlet on weight loss, and some other, like, eating disorder pamphlets. I'm like, well, you look like you have a problem controlling yourself around chips and ho-ohs, so why don't you fill these pamphlets out for me and we'll have a chat. And I was ready for her to get really pissed off at me as I talked to Grandma here, who's... Grandma, you're weird. You're like talking to these demonic plants that look like they want to consume the souls of the children. Oh, hey, Maru. Whenever I'm struggling with technical problem, I always take a walk. Have you tried Googling it, Maru? Because I know you've got internet here. Fucking Joja lives here. Joja doesn't set up anywhere without a phone line for DSL. But no, I expected that woman to get really mad at me and to, like, take me to the office, but she just stared with her mouth agape. And then she was just like, oh, and then, like, left and, like, never asked me or my friends that again for the rest of that semester. And, like, the next school semester, I don't remember if she was still working there, but she was fired not long after. I forget what she did, but it was considered some form of sexual harassment towards a student, so she was promptly kicked out. And, well, the rest of the counselors that replaced her were quite nice, actually, quite helpful. Helped me find what degree I wanted to do in college, set me up with an early start college program where the school actually paid for a first semester of college, which was cool. So I was all down to clown with that stuff. A lot of really weird dickish people. Oh yeah, I can't quite figure out what the deal was with right-clicking. So it doesn't matter where I stand when I want to click the help wanted sign. It's just, I have to click the door. I don't know why, it's just something about my game. Still looking for information on where the heck one finds a carp, which is why I later will actually look online in order to find that information. Turns out you have to go up to the mountain lake area near Linus, you know, the crazy guy who started a media group, Linus Tech Talks on YouTube, became a hobo in the woods, and also invented the Linux operating system. Cool guy, Linus. He's a ooh, free shit. Oh, that's right, yes, give me all of it. I need this flower, too. I don't even like flowers, but I need it. Alright, I can't have it, but I'll come back for it later. Free delicious woodland leeks. You know, it reminds me, they had that really... Every time I think of leek in cooking, even when I see it on TV, I always think back to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and, like, the bad joke that they did where they're like, oh my god, there's a leak in the boat! And that was the one where it was, like, all the animals, and they came... Not all the animals, all the food came to life, and was, like, Lost World Jurassic Park style, like, island full of living vegetables and fruit and food. So that was... I love that movie. Those were good movies. Those were good stuff. And you see, I remember the book that was based off of, like, some sort of magical town where food fell from the sky, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Oh, that's a great kid's book. And, you know, I've always wanted to try my hand at illustrating and writing a children's book. A friend of mine, Hillary, during my thesis, and I don't know if Hillary's ever going to see these videos. Probably not. She's not really a video gamer. Oh, hey, I get a scarecrow. Yeah, let's put a scarecrow down so the crows won't touch my stuff. Yeah, I'm going to put this probably in the middle of the patch. Because, I mean, that's probably where it's the most effective, right? And, wait a minute. Can I talk to you? Oh, God, it's a demon! Ooh. but you're a sexy demon scarecrow. You eat all those scarecrow souls. Man, I didn't really realize that I was such a good necromancer already. So we'll just water these flowers to get that out of the way. Hooray, hooroo. And then we're gonna try and figure out where the heck we get those carps from. But no, she illustrated a children's book for her thesis project. We had to do like a big project to graduate, and it was a children's book about a bear, and the bear was like, came to life and like went on an adventure with a kid, and her former fiance's mother wrote it, and then she illustrated it, and then put up this really cool diorama with like a shelf and a chair with like little pillow cushions and bears and stuff, little stuffed bears, inside of an art gallery that she could then use to show people. And I designed a diabetes management app, which I should probably think about finishing, because like all the diabetes apps and like glucose trackers that I've seen to date are really shit at what they do. I don't have diabetes, I just picked that out of a hat kind of for my project because I just needed to decide on something. And I had some family members with diabetes, and I had some friends with diabetes, so it may, and hypoglycemia, who will eventually get diabetes. And I figured, why not? I have lots of access to those people. Man, there's a lot of these parasitic butterflies everywhere. So right now I'm trying to get some wood, because eventually we'll be able to cross that magic murder path down by the bay, where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go, because you see my scarecrow, it's alive with demon magic, and it judges me silently. So that's just what happens when you live by the bay. I fucking hated that song growing up, but now I can do weird things with it. And why wouldn't you? It's fun to bastardize songs for your own amusement. Hi-ho, it's killing trees I go. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh god, the butterflies want my blood. And you know, I just saw the new Huntsman movie, and I'm convinced in like that really bad universe that Snow White made. I didn't like the Snow White and the Huntsman movie. At all. I'm convinced all the butterflies in that universe, much like this one, are parasitic in some respect. Oh yeah, that's right, I got some seeds. I'm gonna go plant me an acorn tree or whatever. Funny enough, don't really lack a lot of trees, but I guess having trees on hand, much like Minecraft for repeated usable wood, is probably a really good idea. Do I need to water, like, I know you probably would have to water the saplings for the ones that, like, give you fruit, but do I need to, like, water regular tree seeds? Like if I put an acorn or a pine cone in the dirt? I think I might. Oh yeah, and here we go. We're gonna watch The Fortune Teller. Welcome to Welwick's Oracle, the only show where the voice of the spirits is channeled directly to you, like Crossing Over with John Edwards. Totally not ripped off from Crossing Over with John Edwards. And totally not a hack like Crossing Over with John Edwards. The spirits are in good humor today. I think you'll have a wonderful, lucky day. To woo the women, Larry. And then, of course, living off the land, we're back with another tip for y'all. Now listen up, and this is actually pretty useful. Basically, let's talk fences. Fences are useful for keeping weeds at bay and protecting your crops. They also let farmers contain their livestock. Fences break down after a while, but stone, iron, and hardwood fences last a lot longer than basic wood. I should mention, as someone who's had to fix a lot of horse fence on 80 acres, that wooden fence posts last for frickin' ever. Like, the bottom of them will rot off eventually, but it'll take, like, a decade or two for that to happen. Because, like, this property, I've still got wooden fence posts that are from, like, wooden driftwood that whoever built it just pulled out of, like, a ravine and just plunked in the ground. And that's something that you'll see a lot in rural areas. But no, you were right, Comical Skate. I should have been watching the television. It doesn't rot your brain. It's educational, too. At least for a few years until that one company buys this game's version of National Geographic. Then it's going to become a bunch of really crap reality TV. Ah, yes. My crops are looking beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and see if the ground is going to try to judge me today. And funny enough, I do discover where you get carp today, but I guess the quest was 2 days starting, like, right as I got the quest, not after I started doing the quest or whatever. I don't know, I got twizzle-tied with my, my time management, and I wasn't able to turn in the carp mission to that girl. And everyone else's missions after this have been, like, really all about, like, shit I can't get for them. Because I'm not that cool yet, because it took me a bit to get kind of situated with everything. Also, the cauliflower seeds do not want to plant if I'm facing towards the right. They will only plant correctly as I swizzle around, for whatever reason. Like, they just don't want me to stand still. Like, you have to be moving or else we get really stressed out, Larry. Same with the potato. The potato just doesn't like me. I keep spam clicking it and it reselects another slot until I face to the right. I don't know, maybe it's like using a keyboard, a mouse, and a controller at the same time is messing with the game. I could believe that. But I don't know, it was judging me and stuff. And, this is probably the point where I realized that the rod that I bought wasn't the upgraded rod, because I was informed by a certain comically enabled skate creature that there was an upgraded rod available, but I thought that was like immediately. I would soon learn that you are informed by the game when you level up certain traits, that that's when you get access to certain stuff. Isn't that fancy handy dandy? What other plants have I grown around my place? I've grown corn. Corn doesn't grow well at altitude, at least not in my garden. What else do I grow? I grow a lot of squash. My favorite squash is spaghetti squash, and because the thing with spaghetti squash is when you warm it up in the microwave, or in an oven, I like to do it in the oven, when you warm it up inside the shell and then you scoop it out, it's literally like spaghetti. It's like strings of vegetable spaghetti. And then you can literally just make a nice white sauce or Parmesan sauce or red sauce, and you literally have dinner right there. It's like I love it. You put on some meatballs, it is great. Love spaghetti squash. If I have the option of real spaghetti or spaghetti squash, I will usually go with the spaghetti squash. It is my favorite way to have anything spaghetti related in my mouth. So yeah, that's one of my favorite. I also like acorn and butternut squash, and then during the mainstay of the summer, I also grow zucchini and this thing that looks like yellow zucchini that is yellow squash. That's all I know it as. And I saute that. I fry it in a pan with some paprika, and that is just amazing. I love meat. It's basically like ratatouille, really, but without the other, like, third thing that makes ratatouille. Oh, man. And I have made ratatouille before after I watched the movie. Yeah, this is the point where I realized that I got ripped off and the frickin' old man sold me another rod. I guess you can probably throw this rod away or lose it, but, you know, whatever. Oh, hey! And then I got an advancement in my planting skills. I still need to bring that girl a carp, but this is like the last day I was able to find the carp, and I just couldn't figure that out. So I tried to get one here. I thought this was the lake that I needed, but I guess I was wrong. But I did get a lot of really delicious green algae, which you think it would only go well on a California roll, but it's really delicious when paired with hair from your mustache while sitting on a dock going ever insane, staring at the fish. And yeah. I've not caught a lot of, I haven't caught a huge variety of fish. I've pretty much only fished in Colorado, and the only stuff I've really caught was rainbow trout in rivers and in a couple lakes. And that was really it. And the first fish I caught was absolutely puny. But up until that point, like in the Cub Scouts, I hadn't caught shit. Like, we'd gone fishing a jillion times, like my friends had caught like fish. Mostly it was their dads, but I was like, I'm doing this shit alone. This is my fish. So I caught like it was probably like a little trout or something. I don't know. It was in a random river in Colorado, and that was great. And we ate that with a bunch of other fish. It was a great evening at the campsite. Gutted the fish. It wasn't dead yet. I was not patient enough. I wanted to go back to camp and be like, look, motherfuckers, I caught a fish. None of you assholes did alone. Fuck you. Yeah. And when you got them in the wild, we just kind of huck them behind a tree, the guts. You don't really... You're supposed to pack out trash, but if it's things like animal intestines, like a bear will find it. And then, like, make sweet love to it if it's like most of a fish's head, and then eat the rest of it. Because bears are like that. I don't know why. I mean, if nothing else, I am catching delicious fish. And there's nothing not to love about these wonderful fish that give me dollars. I also found like a full frickin' 6-pack of sodas. Like, some dumbass kids were just out here like, should we drink Jojo sodas? Nah, man, they're evil and corporate. We'll just throw them in the lake and ruin the environment. Alright, man, you can just leave them on my porch. Like, if you got sodas you don't want to drink, just leave them on Larry's porch. Don't stay here, though. I don't want any kids around here. That's fucking weird. You're weird. Fucking weird teenagers. I bet you hang out with that kid who looks like he's edgy, like he spends way too much time at the Hot Topic. Crazy people with your young people stuff in your apps. Although apparently, like, everyone's abandoned places like Tumblr now. And like, Snapchat. I don't know, it's weird. So that's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Toodles. I will catch you next time. Like and subscribe.